You have a goal, and it's a big one. You write it down, buy that fresh new notebook, and even tell a few of your friends to hold you accountable. You promise yourself, this time it's going to be different. This time I will stay motivated. And that works for a few days, maybe even a week. And then life does what it does. You get hit with a really long day at work. You're tired, you're stressed, and that motivation that you've been banking on, poof, gone. Nowhere to be found. You skip one day, and then another, and before you know it, that fresh new notebook is just collecting dust. And now you're right back where you started, only now feeling even worse. Sound familiar? What if I told you the problem isn't you? What if the problem was motivation itself? In fact, what if the secret to actually hitting your goals is to stop trying to be motivated? We've all been sold this myth that successful people are a different breed, blessed with a bottomless well of willpower. We see their highlight reels and we assume that they just leap out of bed every day, ready to conquer the world. And if we can't do that, it just means that we're lazy, that we don't want it badly enough. But that's a lie. The truth is, motivation is a visitor, not a resident. It's an emotion, a fleeting spark that comes and goes with your mood. Relying on motivation to achieve anything long-term is like trying to power a transatlantic flight with just a handful of fireworks. You get a spectacular start, followed by a very inevitable crash. Here's what researchers are finding. The real reason why you put things off isn't laziness. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It's an emotion regulation problem. When you're faced with a task that's difficult, or boring, or intimidating, your brain's instinct is to protect you from the negative feelings that come with it, like stress, anxiety, or the fear of failure. Procrastination is just an avoidance strategy. Your brain is simply choosing immediate comfort over long-term reward. So when you try to fix this, by getting more motivated, you're solving the wrong problem. You're trying to use a feeling to fight a feeling. And that's a battle that you're almost always going to lose. The whole thing kicks off a vicious cycle. You feel overwhelmed by a task, so you put it off. And then you feel guilty for putting it off, which just piles more negative feelings on top of that. That guilt drains your energy and makes the task feel even bigger and scarier. So you avoid it again. This is the guilt procrastination loop. It's exhausting. And it's why beating yourself up never, ever works. Just think about that classic battle between your evening self and your morning self. Evening you is a brilliant planner, full of ambition. They set the alarm for 5 a.m., set out your gym clothes, and swear that tomorrow is the day. Evening you is highly motivated. But then morning you wakes up, and morning you is tired. The bed is warm, the world is cold, and morning you doesn't care about six-pack abs 6 months from now. They care about that immediate, blissful reward of hitting the snooze button. This isn't a character flaw. This is a well-documented psychological principle called present bias, where your brain is hardwired to value short-term rewards way more than distant ones. When your entire strategy depends on morning you being just as motivated as evening you was, you're setting yourself up to fail. You are relying on a feeling that is scientifically proven to be unreliable the exact moment that you need it most. So if motivation isn't the answer, what is? You stop playing the motivation game. Instead of trying to feel good, you create a system where your feelings don't even matter. See, a goal is the result that you want. A system is the process that gets you there. Goals are about the future. Systems are about what you can do right now. And while motivation is fragile, a good system is resilient. A system doesn't care if you're bored, tired, or uninspired. It just works. The secret is to make the actions you need to take so small, so easy, and so frictionless that motivation is no longer required. You don't have to feel like it, you just do it. I'm going to show you 3 principles to build a system that breaks that cycle for good. Every task has something called activation energy. It's that little push you need to get started. The bigger the task seems, the more activation energy it takes, and the more motivation you need. Write a book is terrifying. Clean the whole house is exhausting. Your brain sees this and immediately hits the emergency brake. The key is to shrink the task until it's so easy, it's almost laughable. This is the foundation of what's often called the 2-minute rule, a principle popularized by the author James Clear. First, if a task can be done in less than 2 minutes, do it now. Don't write it down, don't think about it, just do it. Answering that one email, putting that dish in the dishwasher, taking out the trash. These tiny wins prevent overwhelm from ever building up. The second part is for your big goals. Shrink the very first step of your habit into something that can be done in less than 2 minutes. Read 30 minutes a day turns into read 1 page. Going for a 3-mile run turns into put on my running shoes. Write 1,000 words turns into open up the document and write 1 sentence. Does that sound ridiculously simple? It should. That's the entire point. Anyone can read 1 page. Anyone can put on their running shoes. Anyone can sit down and write 1 sentence. The strategy isn't about achieving your goal in less than 2 minutes. It's about mastering the art of showing up. You are building the muscle of consistency. Because once you start, momentum often takes over. Actions create motivation, not the other way around. If this idea of making things easy instead of forcing yourself is already clicking with you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're all about building sustainable systems, not just short-term gains and hype. Imagine for a second that you are a river. You're going to flow down the path of least resistance. Human behavior is exactly the same. We naturally gravitate towards the easiest option. So right now, your environment is perfectly designed to produce your current results. If you want to change your behavior, you have to change your environment. This means reducing the friction for your good habits and increasing the friction for your bad ones. Every extra step, every tiny decision that you need to make in doing the right thing is friction. Your new job is to become a friction detective. Want to hit the gym after work? Pack your gym bag at night and put it right next to your front door. The friction of having to go home, find your gear, and pack your bag is often enough to kill the best intentions. Want to eat healthier? After you go to the store, immediately cut up your fresh vegetables. Put the healthy snacks at an eye level in your fridge. And put your junk food either in the back of a drawer or on a high shelf. Want to stop mindlessly scrolling on your phone? Don't rely on willpower. When you need to focus, leave your phone in the other room. The simple act of having to get up and walk to your phone is often enough friction to stop you. We're essentially making decisions in advance. When you're clear-headed and motivated, you design your environment to automate your actions for later, when you know you'll be tired and tempted. You lay out your clothes. You plan out the next day's to-do list the night before. You're no longer relying on the in-the-moment motivation. You just follow the easy path that you already laid out for yourself. Okay, since we know that procrastination is an emotional problem, our system needs a way to handle those feelings without letting them run the show. This brings us to our most counterintuitive but most powerful tool, self-compassion. When you slip up, and you will slip up, your default response is probably to beat yourself up. I'm so lazy. I have zero discipline. But as we've learned, all that negative self-blame does is create more of the negative feelings that we're trying to avoid in the first place. It just reinforces the guilt cycle. Self-compassion is the circuit breaker. Instead of attacking yourself, you treat yourself like you would a good friend. You ask, okay, what made that hard for me today? Or what barrier got in my way? This shifts your focus from judging your character to solving a practical problem. The days that you show up when you don't feel like it are actually more important for building trust with yourself than showing up on the easy days. A brilliant practical technique for managing overwhelm is the Pomodoro Technique. You set a timer for 25 minutes and you commit to focusing on just one thing. When the timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break. That's it. This works because it gives your brain a clear, short-term finish line. The task isn't work on this massive, scary project for hours. It's just focus for 25 minutes. It makes the work feel less intimidating, and it gives you a built-in reward, the 5-minute break, which makes the whole process feel way more satisfying. For years, you've been trying to climb a mountain by staring at the peak and hoping for some magical surge of motivation and energy to carry you to the top. It's an exhausting, demoralizing way to live. The real path forward is to stop looking at the peak. Instead, just focus on taking one small and easy step, and then the next. The real solution isn't more willpower or more discipline. It's to build a better system. So let's stop the self-blame. Let's stop waiting to feel inspired. The secret to getting things done isn't some magical burst of motivation. It's the boring, unglamorous, but absolutely beautiful consistency that comes from making the right thing the easy thing to do. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you've just been playing the wrong game. Shrink the action, remove the friction, handle the emotion. Start small, start now, and give yourself permission to finally stop trying to find motivation. So, what's one tiny piece of friction that you can remove for a habit that you want to start building tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to see what you come up with. If you want to see more videos on building systems to help you build a better life, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.